Hello, everybody. It's a difficult time for us in the Caribbean region, and I would dare say around the world. And I just did a quick reel on my Instagram and Facebook about not really niching down. But I thought here would be an excellent place on LinkedIn or Substack. This I might put this up on my Substack, etc., for more in-depth discourse. Yeah. So this is not per se about the machinations in geopolitics, but what should our responses be as individuals, as leaders of organizations and institutions? And so I thought that I would just briefly discuss or share some of my thoughts and position those thoughts for discussion through comments. Of course, you can inbox me across three pillars. So now I work, Dr. Tamu Petra Brown here, across three pillars as an organization transformation and ecosystem strategist. So let's first discuss what this might look like in terms of strategic process re-engineering. Yeah. So I would want to say that if you are particularly an entrepreneur, right? You have to begin really reconsidering your strategy. Now is the time for repositioning, rethinking. Now is also the time to reconsider your nicheness, right? Or focusedness, particularly for us in the region where we are resource constrained and probably increasingly going to become more and more isolated. It might be creeping, but it will eventually occur. And so I liken this time in our lives to the pandemic era, where businesses and leaders of businesses had to take drastic action. But we want to be prepared because we now know what upheaval looks like. We've experienced it. And so we should not be caught off guard. And my advice really is to begin thinking about expanding your geographical footprint, even if that is in the online space, because really we're seeing more nationalism, less globalization, but what is still available to everyone is, at least for now, is the internet. And so you really need to begin reviewing what you are doing, who you are doing it for, and how you are delivering. You also need to reconsider, you know, your customer base and creating some other segments whose personal disposable income is not as threatened by the geopolitical effects that we will experience and are now experiencing. Now, what about if you are in leadership and governance? So currently, I am in leadership and in governance as a board chair of a tertiary education institution. And so for me, I've been considering engaging with my governors and, of course, senior management around what should our reserves look like? How should we begin to hasten revenue generation? What types of partnerships and MOUs should we begin engaging in as perhaps traditional partnerships become threatened? What will allow us to be a scaffold for shifting national development priorities and allow us as well to continue providing the services we provide as an institution to our clients while being prudent internally through a mix of cost saving, increasing your cash reserves, and revenue generation. Okay. If we look at ecosystems in general, because I also, of course, work with entrepreneurs, but I love work in ecosystems, particularly entrepreneurship ecosystems. The truth is that ecosystem development might take a back burner as our governments are steeped in difficult conversations, difficult decisions, and uncertainty. And so you may want to focus less on the ecosystem and its support systems and ascertain where might have support systems that are more in keeping with what you will require and or just being more self-reliant. And so I don't believe we're going to see the speed of ecosystem development that we were seeing in the entrepreneurship space. Now, this also brings me to a point, if you're following me, at least on LinkedIn and Instagram, you would see that I conducted an AI, artificial intelligence workshop recently for growth entrepreneurs in SyncKits. This was in person, face to face. But I focused less on AI as an entrepreneurship taskmate, and my focus was primarily on AI as a thought mate, as a competitive strategist. And so this is a tool that we really need to reposition our thinking, especially in the region. And we're just really focused on, can it create my social media? Can it write my caption? There's nothing wrong with that. But where the real resilience resides is in AI being utilized as a tool to assist you in creating innovation and experiences that really obliterate your competitors and give you a competitive advantage. AI can be used to help you in your business model innovation. Of course, I have my own business model, the High Growth Entrepreneurship Roadmap, and really reviewing the steps that you're taking on the roadmap and using artificial intelligence as a thought mate and really rethinking your value proposition, your support systems, your approach to innovation and expansion, rethinking perhaps what you're offering, how you're offering it, and your positioning, sustainability, what that might mean in this era. And so I'd like you to just really reconsider, everyone, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you're in leadership, whether you're in governance, whether whomever you are. Now is the time for reinvention, and AI can be used as that thought mate for you to help you in reinvention. And so that's what I, thought that I'd briefly share since I was, doing some batch social media creation. And yes, this is me. It's not an AI avatar. but it might be in the future, but the thoughts will be mine. Thank you. Bye. And remember, now is not the time to niche down. Now is the time to expand your streams of income.